guys can see. Let's just give you a little picture. It seems a little bit dark in here today, but hello to everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Just doing a few little checks to make sure all is live and all is good. It looks like it. Yeah, I think we might be up and running. Just double checking on our Facebook page that everything is on there too. It looks like it, which is awesome. Lovely. Now make sure that you can hear me okay. Oh, page. Yes, you can hear me okay as well. That's fabulous. So it looks like all my checks are in place and you can see me okay, which is fabulous. So hello everyone, I hope you're all really well. It is Friday, it is lunchtime. I hope that the notification about the live reached your inbox so that you've been able to watch. I'm just gonna have a quick look, see what you guys can see over there on Instagram, because sometimes that's a little bit different. So let's have a look, see what we can see. And yes, it's obviously we weren't here last Friday, so thank you so much for your patience and for bearing with us, because sometimes other things just do get in the way a little bit, which means that we can't always be live every week. Although I am going to try my very best now to be live as often as we possibly can be. Yes, let's have a look. There we go. Now I can see what you guys can see over on Instagram as well. If you are watching on the replay, hello there. I hope you're enjoying the video and thank you for stopping by. I am hoping, and this is just a little bit of a heads up while you guys are still watching, to do a bit of a competition and a giveaway for my YouTube followers. So for those of you who watch on YouTube or currently are watching on a different platform and haven't tried us on YouTube, if you're watching it on Instagram, for example, you only get a small portion of the picture because I can't change the orientation for two different platforms. So you do get a much better view on Instagram, on YouTube than you do on Instagram. So, and I am getting very close to that 1,000 followers mark. So I would love it if you guys could share and encourage others who don't yet follow us on YouTube to do that, and we will be running a competition over the next couple of weeks to try and get some more viewers there so that more people get to see what we're doing here at Time for Tea. So that being said, let's get some crafting done. So you can see I've got a number of goodies in front of me here. This was the card that I made during our last live and I absolutely love this. Look out for these little characters and similar products to these on our Hobby Maker show on the 8th of February. I can't believe that February is only a day away and that our next show is going to be in a week's time. So look out for that. We're going to be on a Saturday, which we don't often do. So I'm excited for that. So look out for some great products from us on Hobby Maker. But we do have obviously some great products already at Time for Tea, and I am thinking about Valentine's. I've done my Valentine's Day nails and I'm loving them. I'm loving the red and pink together. I think it goes so well. As you can see on the card that we made before, the red and pink combo goes so well. So I thought I would stick with that kind of theme and do something a little bit Valentine's related. And these two sets here are actually my favourite sets that we've produced, I think. They are very punny. as you will see from the sentiments that are on there. But they're great for all different fun Valentine's cards. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more fun or a little bit more risque than just some of the images that we do more typically, these are great ones that I always think to myself, what would I send to Anne on Valentine's Day? And these are the perfect little characters for that. So this one here is the We Go Together, and I do think that this is a really good one for myself and Anne, because it's got some of my favourite things on there and his favourite things on there, and the puns really work. So we've got We Go Together like toast and jam. Toast is one of my most favourite foods. I mean, my nan always used to say to me she could tell I was ill if I couldn't eat a slice of toast. You're a real cutie pie that goes with a little pie, and the pie's got a little heart-shaped bit of steam coming out of the top. I do not know, or donuts know, what I'd do without you, with the little donut there. And you can dress up your donut and your jam with these little faces. There's actually 3 little faces that you can dress up your images with, and you can do the same with the 2 pears. And the sentiment, we are the perfect pair, is a really good one as well. And I think these are just really lovely little simple cards and images and phrases that I think any guy would like, as well as any girl. But I think when we're making cards for the guys, it can sometimes, you know, they might think it's a little bit too sweet, a little bit too cute, a little bit too twee with some of the other images that we have. So these are really designed with the boys in mind, and boys of any age as well. This is a little bit more naughty, but not so naughty that you couldn't send it and get away with it, if that makes sense. So we've got You Light Up My Life or You Turn Me On that go with this little light bulb here. You Guac My World and Let's Have a Cuddle with the 2 little avocados. Oh, and I should mention we've also got the little light switch there with the You Turn Me On sentiment. We've got Let's Spoon with the 2 cute little spoons here. And then you have You Stole a Piece of My Heart, and then you've got the hearts on the pizza there. So these again are just really fun little images that anybody could, anybody would appreciate. Anybody's other half, I think, would appreciate. They're a little bit more grown up because of the sentiments, and I think that's what will really appeal to the guys in our lives, rather than perhaps the cute little cat characters that we have typically. So I want to use one of these 2 sets to make a fun little card, and I must admit I'm a little bit torn now as which one to do one that's a little bit naughty, or the You Stole a Piece of My Heart, which I think is really, really cute. I do love that one, and I love the idea of it being kind of on a pizza, in a pizza box, and you're having that. Some of the team have made a whole pizza out of it, which I think is a really cute idea as well, and then just have a piece missing. So you could do that, you could stack those up, which would be really cute, and I'm tempted to do that. Excuse me. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a tickle there. I do not know what I'd do without you is also a really good one, because Anne loves a donut, so that's really good. But then I do like my toaster, because I think he's very cute as well. So many choices, and I think what I'm going to do before I make my final decision is have a look at what my potential backgrounds are here. And I've picked out a couple of different sets. This one is a great one for the time of year, because it's got these little stitched hearts all the way around the outside, but it doesn't cut out the centre unless you want it to cut out the centre. So this die in the middle can cut out that centerpiece, or you can cut that out separately and use that as a focal point and raise that up, which is quite cute. So that's really fun. It does typically, you know, you would use it in the portrait orientation because of the way that the stitched hearts are positioned, but you've also got these other little hearts that have the little sentiments that cut out, which look very much like love heart sweets, and that's a really fun little project to do, is to cut out a few of those in different coloured papers and different coloured cardstock, and make almost a little love hearts pattern and backdrop, which I would really love to do that. The quilted backdrop is great, and I can see that with the pizza on the back, I think would be really fun. Our 5 windows die, again, really versatile. You can use it one way, you can use it this way. There are so many different options of using this, and it's a great way of showcasing lots of little images in one go. And then this one, of course, is our sweet scalloped set. So you've got 2 different sizes of your scalloped frames. You've got a cute little scalloped tag here, and also a little border that you can use at various different points in your card. So lots of options there, almost spoilt for choice, and I've tried to narrow it down and not overface myself with different options, because that does end up, you know, confusing you. I wanted to show you here where I have previously cut out these gorgeous little scalloped hearts here, and I've also got the hearts from I think it will be from the center of the slimline the slimline aperture dies. I couldn't get the word out there. And the hearts that you cut from there actually fit inside the scalloped heart frame that we've got here. So you can use the frame, or you can use the scallops that are the little scallop tag, or you can use the hearts that come from that that set, that die set, to create a different look. So these are the ones that I made with the Baked with Love stamp set, and these are really fun because you can pop them on as little gift tags for baked goods or different food, bags of sweets, again with that love heart vibe. So if I was to take one of these little these sentiments out of this set, so this set, actually I should tell you, is called the A2 Stitched Hearts die set. It is an A2 stitch size card, but if I was to take out the sentiments, the hug sentiment for example, you could cut that out of the center of your heart-shaped cardstock and then back it onto your little scalloped die, and you've created a little love heart style tag. Can't get my words out today. So that's really fun to do, and well worth thinking about when you're putting together, you know, thinking about your Valentine's gifts and so on. This is an example actually here of the inverted stitched die, which is also a really fun one and a great one for showcasing some of these images. So that's handy to have, just to show you what that looks like. Like I say, sometimes you can just get a little bit overwhelmed with choice, so I like to pick out a few things that maybe I haven't used in a little while, to try and give me a bit of inspiration as to what I'm going to do. So let's have a think. Which one would be a nice one to do, I think, just as a nice, quick and simple, if we're putting together a nice, quick, simple card for a loved one, what are we going to want to do? So we've got this one here. This could be quite cute. Excuse me. because we've got the toast and jam, so we go together like toast and jam. That would look really cute, and this is how I tend to try and work out what I'm going to do. So we've got our little toaster here, and then we've got our toast there. You could also have your toast popping out of your toaster, and then a couple of other little bits of toast kind of knocking about, which I think would be really quite cute. Or we could do this in the centre of maybe this with the sweet scallops, and just have them as the focal point with the little "we go together," which I think would be very, very sweet. We could also do the same with this one, but because we've got a centre point that is quite narrow, we can't really fit a lot in the middle of there, and ideally I would rather have that this way if I was going to do it like that. So I think possibly I might do a combination of a couple of things here. So actually I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a stencil. I'm going to cut out a background with this scalloped piece here, because I love this shape. It's got stitching to it as well, so it is perfect for this. I just need a bit of cardstock. So let me have a little look. I've got some lovely bits of cardstock here that we can use. And I'm going to line that up on there, grab a little bit of my washi tape and pop this onto here. And then I pop this through my Dagster machine, which is quite a noisy little machine, so please bear with, because it is a bit on the noisy side. And I might cut this one out as well as an extra little focal point, because that could be quite cute. Or we could go with a nice little scallop circle, couldn't we, to mix it up? That would be nice. Let's have a look at that, because I think that would be quite pretty as well. Let me look at my scallop circles. So I know I've definitely been using those at some point. Get my my lovely box of dies here, so that I can show you what I'm doing, so you're not just looking at a blank screen. But I've got to have a little flick through. I don't remember seeing them actually, and I feel like I have used them recently for a show, but maybe we didn't bring them back, which would be very annoying, wouldn't it? Because I really do want to use those, but I don't see them in here, which is what have I done with those then? I feel like I may have left them at HQ, because we will have taken them to a show. So I've got my normal circle dies here, but I don't appear to have my stitched ones, unless I've put them somewhere so safe. But now I can't seem to see those guys anywhere. So back to the drawing board, because that isn't going to work, is it? So we can't find them. That's baffled me. Oh, hang on, are they up here? Yes, they are. There we go. I knew they would be somewhere. So here they are. After all that, along with my stars. my Let's Party sentiment, which I'm going to move because otherwise that's going to get lost, isn't it? So we'll pop them back in there. But these are my stitched circles and my scallops. So, and I've also got my a couple of my stencils here. So let's pop that one back where it belongs. And let's have a look at a little scalloped circle here and see whether a scalloped circle is going to work after all of this, because I'm not sure now whether it will be big enough, but that should fit beautifully in the middle of there. And then we would pop our little characters in there, or we could even pop our sentiment underneath there, which would be looking very, very cute, wouldn't it? So, and this just gives a little bit of a contrast then, because we have that distinction between our background here and in terms of the different orientation. So we've got obviously our rectangle and then our circle positioned in the middle, which will just look so cute. So I think I'm going to go with that design. It's nice and simple, it does the trick. So we'll pop that to one side. So I'm going to need some more of my card here. So I believe I've got some nice bits of card here, just perfect for this purpose. Hopefully we've got one. Oh, this one could almost have been made for this. Lovely. So we'll just add a bit of washi to this as well, so that we can cut these out. And then we're going to do a little bit of stenciling, I think, onto these. So we'll just get these cut out first. So my my die cutting machine is a Gemini, and it's a big one, and it's quite noisy on camera, so do apologise, but I will pop this through now. Hello Annalisa, how are you? Annalisa's loving the scallop circles. Me too, Annalisa, me too. So pop that through there. So that's my background. Yes, that's cut quite well. So we're just popping in the little scallop circle. That can go in there. I'll just move this. And then I can, and that is one thing that I do love about my machine, is that I can just leave it to run through, and it does its thing, which is really, really helpful when you've got, you know, when you're trying to work quickly or you're trying to get lots of things done. You don't want to be having to babysit your die cutting machine when it can just do its own thing. So this is my little scallop circle, and that's going to sit in the centre there. We are going to need a bit of card. So I'm going to need a card base. I'm just going to look, see if I have got one already, or if I need to grab another one. That looks like this could be one. That would be a good one. I've also got some scallop circles already cut out here, actually. So this is just the simple circles with the stitched, which sits inside our scallop circles, and you can see that I've got a nice little bit of vellum there as well, in case we wanted to use that. So I might keep that to one side also, because that would be handy to use. So they're all my bits of cardstock that we don't need. So yes, so this scallop piece will sit on the front of an A6 size card base, looking really cute. And then we'll have our scallop circle, and I will probably have this other little circle on the front there just to add a little bit of contrast. So I want to keep my scallop white, but I want to do some ink blending on the inside. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to use, of course, some washi tape. So let's have a look. We've got a bit of washi tape here. I don't want it to be too tacky because we don't want it to rip my cardstock. So I'm just going to rub it onto my hands first, because I've got oils on my hands, and that's probably going to help just keep it a little bit more low tack and a bit easier to remove. So I'm going to pop that all the way around the outside of my... So I'm just using the stitch line as my guide, because obviously that is nice and straight. I know that's straight. My eyes might not be very good at making straight lines, but I know that I've got my stitch line in a perfect line. So if I just follow that, and I am covering it up a little bit, that line, because I don't want to get ink on that bit. I want to keep the ink on the inside. And there's a couple of ways that we could do this. When I show you the stencil, you'll see what I mean. So I've stuck this to my mat now, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to unstick it. And I'm going to grab my stencil mat here. This is going to protect my craft mat. I'm going to turn it this way around because we're working in portrait, and I can stick it then to there, and that will keep it nice and safe. Stencils, I've got my little swatch book of stencils here, my little binder, and I'm looking for something that's a little bit festive for the season, and I do know that we do have this particular stencil in stock, if I can find it. Oh, we've got the X marks the spot. I don't know if we've got any of those left. We've also got the XOXO, which I haven't used for a while. So I think I might use that one, because I was going to go with the Scattered Hearts. The Scattered Hearts is a firm favourite with everyone, but I think I might go with this one actually, because I haven't used this one all that much just yet, and it's a beautiful stencil, and it's perfect for the season. So let's go with this. For the moment, pop my little binder back. Oh, this is so sweet. So we could go straight on with this and leave the background white, but I think what I might do is add a little bit of pale pink, and then add maybe a pinky red on top. So a lovely pale pink. We could either go with the Tattered Rose or a Spun Sugar. I think I'm going to go with the Spun Sugar because it is a lovely pale colour, but it will look really nice contrasting against our white edges. So using my beautiful blender brush, using that bit of tape just in place there, just so that I don't get those edges with any colour, and I'm just smushing this on in a circular motion, nice and bold colour, using a fair bit of pressure with my forefinger and thumb on the head of my my brush there, and I'm just pressing that ink into the paper. I know I'm going to get a lovely blend because of the brush that I'm using, so I'm not worried that I'm just going straight onto the centre of my page. I'm just getting this colour down nicely, quickly, and this is, you know, such a great thing to be able to do, to make your white cardstock the colour that you want it to be, without having to cut another layer of card, because you wouldn't be able to do this with one piece of cardstock. You would have to cut a separate layer if you wanted those edges to be white, if that makes sense. So you'd need two dies really, whereas we've just used the one but created that outline and that border just by doing something different with our positioning. So let's grab my microfiber cloth just to clean that brush up and give that a good clean. And like I said, I was very much inspired by my nail colour and thinking, oh, I'd quite like to do pink and red. So I am going to do that. I'm going to do pink and red. But I guess I want kind of a pinky red. So Candied Apple is very nice. Candied Apple's a lovely colour. Very red. Barn Door I think is a bit too kind of a rust red. Abandoned Coral is a very pinky red. That I think would work really nicely. We've also got here, we've got a bit of Festive Berries, which, you know, again is quite a nice pinky red. I feel like that might be a really nice colour. So shall we try a little bit of it onto our scrap here. I've got my small brush, which is in the Candied Apple colour. So let's try a couple of different shades. See, that is quite a nice pinky red. I think I like that. But let's just try a little bit of Abandoned Coral. This might be a little bit too much of a salmony pink colour. Yeah, that one's a bit salmony pink. It's nice, but I do want it to be a bit of a hotter red. And then this one is going to be very red. So it's almost an orangey red. So if I put that next to the Festive Berries, you can see, hopefully it comes across on screen, I can definitely see it in real life, that we've got kind of a peachy salmony pink, we've got a very pink almost purpley red, and then we've got an orangey red in the Candied Apple. So I'm going to go with the Festive Berries. I think the Festive Berries is the perfect pinky shade that I'm looking for. And I'm going to position my stencil exactly where I need it to be, and I am going to fix this in place with a bit more washi tape, because when I come to start pushing the ink through, I'm definitely going to create a little bit of friction, and I'm going to position these so that they are a little bit more central. We've got a nice little line there. Lovely. So that's all in place. Okay. Hello Emma, how are you? Loves the Festive Berries, Emma says. What is everybody up to today? If you are watching and you are crafting along, do let me know. And do say hello, because otherwise it can be quite a lonely place talking to myself. All the cats are asleep. Lovely snoozy cats, all behaving themselves. Look how creamy that looks as a colour. I am absolutely on your bus there, Emma. This Festive Berries is so gorgeous on top of the spun sugar. They are the perfect combination. I'm so glad I went for this. This is going to make such a lovely bold background for our images, and I'm going to match my images and colour those up to match this. What I have been really enjoying, if you kind of look at colour trends, and I particularly obviously am looking at maybe nail colour trends and things when I'm looking at different ways to combine colours, and I love blue, like a lovely kind of almost sky blue with red and pink for Valentine's. I think that looks so fresh, and I know that some of the design team have used very similar combinations before, so that little pop of reddy pink against this background is absolutely gorgeous. It's so stunning. I love how the Distress Oxide inks are just very almost creamy, I guess. So I'm just going to pop that down there. In fact, I'm going to pop it behind me because I don't need it at the moment. I've got my little caddies behind me. I'm going to grab some my wipes so I can clean this stencil because there's quite a lot of ink on here. What is really nice to do, and I know a lot of people like to spray this and then use the residual ink, we could try doing that because I don't do that very often. Do I have a piece of cardstock that I could try it on? Shall we have a go at it and see what it looks like? What's the worst that can happen, she says. So let's just move this. Do I have any ink? Yes, any water, sorry. I've got plenty of ink. So I'm going to pop that to one side. This is my stencil. I'm going to pop my stencil onto my stencil mat. And I'm going to use some water spray here. I'm just going to spray this over that background. I've not got a lot of water in it, so that's it. Now we're getting somewhere. So that's just going to give that a little bit of moisture. I'm going to let it kind of mix a little bit, and then I take my piece of card and I rub, or well, place my card over the background. So if I just position that fairly straight and just then press that down. No idea if this is going to work, by the way, but what's the worst that can happen? It's a bit of cardstock. When it dries, I could always use the other side. So yeah, just making sure that we've pressed it in all of the right areas to get that pattern, hopefully. And then let's lift this up. Oh, how cute! Well, that's actually quite cute, isn't it? And that gives you like a little watercoloured background. I like that. I do like that. That's very sweet. What do you think? I think that could make quite a nice, interesting little background, couldn't it? You could paint in a little bit of colour into the wells as well, where the little X's and hearts are. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to keep that to one side because I think that's really pretty. Let me know in the comments if you liked that technique and you'd give it a try yourself, because I think that's really cute. That is very sweet. Okay, so kind of wish that I'd done that before now, because I think that would be really nice. And I think what would be nice is if you kind of did more than one colour in your inking, so then you've got like a different kind of gradient of colour in your background. It would create a nice contrast, but I'm loving that. I'm going to keep that there. it just looks so different. And I think because it's got such a lovely bold design, it works really, really well. I might need this actually. I was about to fold that away, but I might need this to do a little bit of ink blending onto my scallop circle. So let's not get rid of that just yet, and let's have a look and see what our final result looks like here. So I'm just going to very carefully peel back my bit of washi, and my top tip for this is to, rather than ripping it this way, to kind of curl it back. So as you rip or remove, we're not ripping, we're just removing gently, we're just pulling it back. So we're not lifting it like this, we're just letting it roll back gently away from the design. And that should help with any potential snagging and pulling and tearing of the paper, allegedly. But that does seem to be doing the trick in this instance. So, and again, just curl that away really gently. This is such a cute little background. I absolutely love this. Love it, love it, love it, love it. How adorable is that? That is such a pretty design. So we've now got, our background, we've got our scallop circle, and then we've got our other little circle. We've also got a little bit of a vellum scallop, which I'm tempted to use because obviously you can see some of the design, but no, I think I like the bold white. Now I've just done that, I do like the white. Can't pick it up. I think that looks really nice. That does look really nice. I am tempted to colour it in a different colour. Like I said, that sky blue is really doing it for me in terms of a contrast with the pink. So with my little scrap piece of card that I've got here, so this is my little tester piece that I can just test all my different colours. If I was going to go for a pretty sky blue, I'm just having to see if I've got one that is the shade that I've got in my mind, which I can see from a Copic point of view, but I'm not sure I can fully see it. Other than Tumbled Glass, which I think is perhaps a little bit too pale. It must be the Salty Ocean, or maybe a combination of the two. No, it's going to have to be the Salty Ocean, isn't it? Let's have a look at this. Let me get my blue, my gorgeous blue brush here, and let's get some of this gorgeous blue onto my page here. So the idea being that we have this as kind of a little bit of a background, and I think I do like that little pop of blue. Just makes it just butchers it up a little bit for me. If I mix a little bit of the Tumbled Glass into this, how does that look? Does that do anything? Does it calm it down? Does it make it look any more of a prettier blue? I don't think it makes much difference. So I'm just going to bring this onto camera so that you can see. That's essentially what we're talking about, is this lovely blue shade, and I think that works really well. So I'm going to go for it. And it all depends whether you like a bit of the bold or you prefer a little, more of pastel shade. But I think for this, for who I'm making my card for, and again, this is something that you need to be thinking about, is who are you making your card for? Who is the recipient of the card? Is it for you? Is it for a friend? Is it for a Valentine? Is it for your partner? What colours do they like? What colours would they prefer? Something a bit more delicate and pastel, or would they like something that was a bit more bold? also, if you're making these for maybe a stall, a craft stall that you've got, then you want different colour schemes that appeal to everyone that you might be coming to your stand. So you know, it might not be a colour scheme that you particularly love, but but other people, it might be exactly what they've been looking for, and they haven't been looking, you know, they haven't been able to find it anywhere else. So yeah, do think outside of the box, and not just what you might like, for example. Annalisa says she loves that technique. I've been using my stencils with distressed watercolour pencils and loving it. Great job. Watercolour pencils, I haven't tried it with those. That would be really interesting, Annalisa. And Annalisa says the stencil is perfect for that watercolour technique. It absolutely is. So you can see that I've only gone around the outside edge because obviously I'm going to be popping this in front of it, so you're not going to see the centre part. So I've only inked up the bits that I really need. So that's looking really lovely. And then my next step is just to add a little bit of a background to this circle piece, because otherwise it's just going to look like a bit of a dead white space. So I'm just going to pop this back on there while I just decide what we're going to do, because we're going to have our little toast and jam on here, aren't we? So we don't need anything too spectacular. I think really, if I'm honest, all I'm going to do is do a little bit of the spun sugar, because I don't think it warrants anything else really. So I'm just going to add just a hint of this colour, darker in the middle and then radiating outwards, but you don't have to be too overly precious with it. It's not, you know, it is just literally to give it that little bit of colour, and I think that's lovely. What I might do with this though, because this did give such a lovely colour, didn't it, in the background, is to add some festive berries to the back of here, and probably a little bit of the spun sugar as well. And I'm going to move that out of the way because I don't want that to get damaged. I've got my my brush here. I don't have any water in there, so where's my little, I've got a tiny little bit of water still in my spray bottle here. So we just spray a bit of water onto there. Hopefully you can see all of that. And then I'm going to just pick up some of that colour onto my brush here, and it might not quite be watery enough because, like I said, I didn't have a lot of water there, so I might have to flick it off a bit of, there we go. So yeah, I'm just flicking some of this off. That's better. That's better. So we've just got a few like little bits of texture there, and then we'll just add a little bit of water as well, just to create another little bit of texture, because again that will lift with that Distress Oxide ink. So I'll just show you that a little bit closer. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I've not sent the picture funny. So, oh, dropping things. So I'll pop this to one side to give this a quick clean. I love adding a little splatter of ink, whether it be Distress Oxide ink, whether it be any of your Fine Tech shimmer inks, or just a bit of white acrylic paint. Anything like that just does add a fun bit of texture, which is really, really you know, just adds a little bit of something extra. So this is a bit of our white cardstock, isn't it? So I can use that for my images, which is great. Don't waste anything. That's what I say. Let's pop these back on the shelf. This is going to be a really fun little card, and I am really excited to put it all together. So now we've got our background pretty much sorted, which is really starting to come together, and that's my card base, so keep those to one side. Now I need to work on these stamped images. So got these here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp them out with my ink, and I'm not going to use my acrylic block, so I'm going to be a bit brave and just stamp them straight onto my cardstock here using an acrylic block. So a little bit of ink onto there. This is Memento Tuxedo Black, which is perfect for using with my Copic markers, which is what I'm going to be using. So that's that one. And then I need my cute toaster. I do tend to use my smaller acrylic block most of the time, if I can get away with it, just because I find it easier to control and position onto my piece of card here. Obviously the larger your acrylic block is, the harder that becomes. So I'll just do that. Oh, love that. Love it. Let's just give that a bit of a clean. And give this one a bit of a clean. I like to keep everything everything nice and clean. So that is my my images, but I now need to do my sentiment, and I'm a bit unsure how to do my sentiment actually. In terms of, do I do it black on white, or do I do a bit of a heat emboss situation, which would look really very pretty, I think, if we were to use some of that blue maybe, and then heat emboss on the back of it. Heat embossing onto Distress Oxide is very, very difficult. I'm not going to lie. It's not the easiest thing to do because it takes a while to dry. But there are ways and means. So let's not be faint-hearted. Let's go for it. And I'm going to use this scrap of cardstock that I've got here, but I'm just going to turn it over. And I'm going to, I've not got my little stencil mat out because I'm only going to be using a very small amount of this this cardstock, so I am being a little bit naughty. Now I want to make sure that I've got full coverage, the whole kind of background for my sentiment. So I'm just testing that there's enough blue on there to achieve that, and there is. So again, just clean your brush with a microfiber towel every time, if you can remember, or when you've finished for the day, just give them all a bit of a clean. And you don't have to, because it's fine. It's just that I find that if you want to use a different colour next time, you won't potentially remember that you didn't clean it the last time. So it's good to be in a good habit of doing that. Otherwise you can get yourself in a little bit of a tiz. So this needs to dry. I potentially will dry it off with a little bit of my heat tool before I come to ink onto it, but I'm going to colour up. I'm going to give it a bit of time and I'm going to colour up my images first. So let's start with this first. So colour wise, I'm going to grab my background as my inspo, and we're going with pink, red and blue. So I'm going to try and keep my colour scheme to around that kind of pink, red and blue. And I feel like blue is going to be a good colour for my toaster, and then I can have some red jam for my toast. So that's going to be cute. So I think otherwise it's going to be a bit too pink. So blue wise, I've got the B02, which is a really nice shade, or we've got a bit of B12. Let's have a look at this one, which again, both really nice colours, but I'm going to go with the B02 on this one. So we've got B02 and B04. B04 is a lovely, lovely summery shade, or we could go paler with our B01. I think we might go paler. So I'm going to start with the B02, and we can always go darker, can't we? So I think that's always a good way of thinking about it, is that you can always go darker, but you can't go lighter really. Once you've gone there, you're kind of stuck. So I'm going to add a bit of this colour. This is kind of my darker colour. So I'm leaving some areas where I believe there's going to be some light. So for example, there is likely to be a little bit of light around that edge there, and around the very outer corners, because shimmery kind of chrome coloured products tend to have that little bit of light that goes across the top. So I'm going in now with the B01 to just bring that colour together. That's very cute. I'm going to leave that bit white that we just spoke about, because I think it needs that highlight. And then I've got the double zero, sorry, not triple, to just bring those colours together. And that will just make it that little bit paler around the face. If I wanted to add a little bit of colour so it wasn't completely white, then the B000 is probably the ideal colour for this. So it will just almost blend the edges away, so it doesn't look as harsh but still gives us the illusion of highlight. And we can add further highlight with a white gel pen at the end. For the little rosy cheeks that our little characters tend to have, just a little bit of the R20, and then I'm going to add some silver accents to this, to represent maybe silver edges. So just a little bit of that, a silver handle, and then the little areas where the toast goes and where the handle slot would be. And we'll go in with a little bit more with this is the C1. So bring those colours together, and then where I feel, just throwing my pen top away, where I feel I need a little bit more depth, I'm now going to go in with the C5, and I feel like there's probably going to be a bit more depth here. and probably here, and then at the bottom of these areas where the toast goes, and maybe just a little bit more along the edges of the base there. That looks lovely. So we'll blend these back in with the C3. And again, we've just left a little bit of white highlight where we think it's necessary. Lovely. So moving on to our little bit of toast. Toast colour. What's a good toast colour? I would say E34, which is called Toast. So I think this is actually a really good shade for a nice like well cooked bit of toast. So I'm going to go all the way around the outside of my my toast here, and then I'm going to add some little bits around some of these curves where the jam hits. But I like my toast much paler than this, so I'm going to use the E30 to fill in these gaps, because then it will look like a nice kind of underdone piece of white toast. I feel like maybe my E30 might be on the way out, I don't know. I don't mind if the edges are still quite pronounced, because that looks like the crust on a bit of toast. So if you notice, when you slice into a piece of white bread, you will still see the darker crust around the outside, so I think that looks quite realistic. Okay, colour for my jam. What are everybody's favourite flavours of jam? What are we fans of in the jam world? That's a good match, isn't it? That is lipstick red. I think that's a very good jam shade. If you're looking for something that is very much like a full kind of raspberry almost jam. I prefer a strawberry jam. Strawberry is definitely my jam. And I don't like seeds. Where do we stand on the seeds? Tell me I'm not the only one who will only have a seedless jam, because I can't bear it with the seeds. I don't know what it is, but it's just, oh no, I can't do it. Oh, my R27 feels like it's very dry. That's so upsetting when your Copic markers start to feel a little bit laboured. I have to pop that to one side. We'll have to replace that, I think. And then my R24 is the paler of the three that all go together, but that does give it very much more of a strawberry flavour, I feel, that goes very well with our background. Oh, that's the wrong way around. So let's just add a little bit more of that darker red, because I really like it. I think it looks really nice. So, and then I'm just going to blend that into the middle with that R24. Okay, so that's looking nice. You could, if you wanted to, add a little face to this, which I might do now I've coloured it. Obviously you've got the one with the moustache, but I'm just going to do the little eyes closed with some VersaFine here. because Versafine is a really lovely bold colour, and now we've done all of our colouring in, I don't need it to work with the alcohol markers, so I can just, excuse my head if that's popping into view, but just make sure that I've got all of that that face down there. Oh, so cute. They're very, very cute. Okay, so I'll just pop that to one side for the moment and pop all my pens back before we get out of hand here. And that one's in there and that one's in there. And then we can cut these out, can't we? So where are my scissors? Here we go. I'm just going to slice that bit off there to make this a little bit easier. Of course, we've got our coordinating dies here, so let's grab those. Coordinating dies, where are you? Here we go. So I've got coordinating die for my toaster, one for my toast, and I'll also have the coordinating die for my sentiment, which I think potentially is this one, I think. So that seems to be the right size, doesn't it? So I might just take that out in preparation. Use a bit of this washi tape that we used before to just line up our stencil very carefully, making sure that we can see each edge of the stamp inside of that die. So I want to see a tiny little bit of that black outline in between, and I'm going to grab my little die cutting machine here, my little go-to cute little die machine, and pop this through. And that's on there. And then I think we're going to have a go. Oh, that's so cute. At our it's our sentiment now. I will need those in a second, but we'll just pop that there for the moment. So that's my little characters, and then this is our bit of cardstock. I've got an anti-static powder, and this has got a really good amount of anti-static in it, so we're going to really do our best here to try and cover this. I need a little bit of scrap paper here. It's a bit of scrap paper that we can pop underneath here, because this is going to capture all of our proper ink powders. So I'll give that a little tap off because I don't want any of that on there. Okay, so I need my embossing ink, I need my sentiment. I'm going to pop this onto, I'm going to have to pop this onto a larger die, a larger ink block, sorry, because acrylic block, because it doesn't quite fit on my smaller one. And I'm going to press that into my embossing ink. Make sure I've got plenty on there. I'm going to position this in the centre of my blue, and I'm just going to rock that ever so slightly backwards and forwards, because I want to make sure I've got full coverage for every letter. And I can already see the little outline of that showing, which is great. And now I need a bit of white powder. Let's pop that to one side because I need to clean both of those. So this is my white powder. This is the Sweet Dixie Glacier White Ultra Fine. I love the Ultra Fine because it does really work well with my sentiments. I'm just going to pick this up and I'm going to drop that powder onto the top there, drop that, and then tap. So let's have a look and see what's happened. So we've got a little bit, tiny bit, and I'm just going to grab a little tiny brush and I'm going to wipe away any of that powder that is not serving us, is not where we want it to be. So just very carefully just wipe that away. Any spots that we think are unnecessary, we just need to remove them, because when we apply the heat, they will be there for good and we won't get them off. So just going to use the bristles here just to pick up little bits that might be in the way. And what we can do, if there are any bits that are missing when we've set it, we can add those back in with our jelly roll pen. So happy with that. I'm not going to touch that anymore because I don't want to waste it. I'm going to add my spare or waste powder back into my pot here and seal that up nicely. Pop my little brush back, and then let's have a look. Where is my embossing tool? Is it all plugged in and ready to go? I believe it is. It's a little bit trapped. There we go. So this is a little bit noisy, so do bear with. I'm going to heat it up a little bit first. So let's get this heated up. So I'm just got this switched on underneath the desk, and then underneath, and hopefully you guys can see the change once the heat starts to work. Lovely. So you may not have been able to see that very well because I was quite close to the screen there, but that has changed that powdery ink into a solid ink that will now looks embossed and is glossy and gorgeous. It will slightly change, the heat slightly changes the colour of the ink, but that's fine because when it cools down it will go back to the colour that we wanted. If however you want to add more colour, you can ink over the top of your sentiment, rub it over with a microfiber cloth, and that will remove any ink from the top of the embossed lettering. So another way of doing this, if you are worried about any anti-static, is to heat emboss your sentiment first just onto white cardstock and then put your ink over the top, and it will just wipe off the embossing. So that is another way of doing it and preventing that static being an issue. So once that's dried off, we can give that a little bit of buff over, which will just again remove any of that anti-static powder and make it pop that little bit more. And we can now cut this out with our coordinating die. So just trim that down, line this up over the top, and I love our coordinating dies for our sentiments because it just looks so much neater than trying to pop them onto I don't know, trying to trim them into size for maybe a rectangle, or using you know, trying to find something that it would sit on or is the right shape, or maybe trying to find a banner die that works. I just think cutting it out with the coordinating die just looks like, I don't know, it just looks finished and looks more professional, in my opinion anyway. Which is why since we started doing it, I've never deviated from doing them. It's very rare that if we're going to do a coordinating dies that we won't do the sentiments as well, because it just works. So let's put my coordinating dies back, and then I'll show you the final. Oh, that one's fallen out. Don't want to lose that, do we? Let's put that in there. So that is the final thing, which is so cute, and again just looks so perfect, doesn't it? So I think we're about ready to assemble, Avengers. So this is my gorgeous background. This is possibly one of the favourite things that I've ever done is this background. I love it, and I want to use it on a million different things now. Let's get myself straight. So I'm going to pop this straight onto my background with some glue. You could use tape if you've got a tape runner, if that's your preferred. I think if you're making things to sell, I would use glue rather than tape runner, because the glue will last much longer. It will mean your card stays together much longer. The glues on the tapes don't last forever. They are more of a, I think, given heat, climate, all of those different things play a part, and so the glue isn't as permanent because of that. So I would definitely use glue, and the Cosmic Shimmer glue is my absolute favourite of all the glues. So lovely card, and here I'm going to stick this directly onto my scallop circle, but then I'm going to pop that up on with some foam, I think. So we're going to have two layers of kind of elevation, if you like. So we're going to pop that one onto there, and then all of my images will also be popped up. So we've got our sentiment at the bottom there. So a bit of foam on this guy, which will give this a lovely bit of dimension. So I'll pop that just there, put a little square there, just so that it doesn't buckle or bow. Having a little bit of extra support at the top and bottom just really helps. Oops. So that's lovely. Which way around do I want it? I think probably that way around. Not that it really matters, but just try and get that central. And then of course we've got our little toast and jam, and these are going to be popped up, so this is where our extra bit of dimension is going to come in. So we've got one piece on the back of here. Probably didn't need to make that quite as big, but he's going to be the main kind of character in the background there. And then, oh, I don't know whether I like him sat behind or in front. No, in front. In front. I've got a little piece here. Is that going to be big enough to support him? Oh, it's at the wrong side as well. So if I just put one bit, yeah, that actually works there, doesn't it? Might need a little bit more there though. Don't want him to kind of collapse. Really, so I want to make sure that there's enough support there that yeah, that works, doesn't it? That's cute. So we just pop him or her just down there, and then we've got the We Go Together Like Toast and Jam. We could pop it underneath there, but I do quite like it down here. I don't know, what do we think? Does it look better tucked up under there, or does it look better down here? I feel like it needs something else here, doesn't it? But that then all looks a little bit bunched in the middle. If we move these up a little bit, maybe that would work. See if we can lift these off. Sometimes you can carefully remove the tape. I did use quite a lot of tape on this guy. So let's just see if we can carefully remove. Once this is like fully stuck, you're not getting this off, but you do get a little bit of time to work with it. So we've got this going here, and these guys a bit further up. What do we think to that? That could be quite cute, couldn't it? What do we think? Does it feel like it needs the sentiment lower down? So this is your classic kind of positioning situation, really, is do we go with sentiment at the bottom and these guys filling that space a little bit more, like so? I think that is the better way of doing it. So we're going to go with this. We're committing to it. I need a little bit more tape underneath my little bit of toast here, because I've moved him down a bit. And this, like I say, is kind of classic conversation that we all have with ourselves when we come to put different projects together, is what is the best position, what is the best placement for my images. And there is no right or wrong answer. It really is what you are feeling at the time. You know, what do you like the look of, you know, and how does it feel to you? So sometimes it's not worth overthinking it. You just have to go with it and what feels right to you. And this feels right to me at the moment. If I was making this card again, maybe I would do it differently. Who knows? But what I would like to do is add some little bits of embellishments. Now, I do have some lovely little enamel dots, but I also have these really sweet little love heart shaker elements, which you can buy from the website, and these are so cute and make the gorgeous little embellishments for the back of for our background here. So a couple of these just dotted about, I think is going to fill that white space and kind of works with our background. So we could go with pink, we could go with white, we can go with red. Let's get another red one there, and another red one down here, I think. Or do we go with another white one down there? I think perhaps white would be nice. Little white one there. And I'm going to try and make them look a little bit less uniform, if I can. That looks very cute. I'm liking that. I think maybe I do need another one here. Let's try another red one. I've got two red ones stuck together there, which is quite cute. that I think is just adorable. So to stick all of these in place, I am going to use some of my glossy accents. If it's plain ball, which sometimes it doesn't, but today being one of those days, it's not having any of it. I just need to maybe just open up that little nozzle there, because it looks like it's got well and truly dried up to the point where I can't even get my little needle point in there. So that's because I will not be defeated by this. It is always the battle, isn't it, that when you come to do your project, that certain elements of it just don't want to play ball, because they've decided to get themselves all glued up, and then all of a sudden it'll come out and it'll just go everywhere, which is also typical. So I think we've got movement. Yep, we have. So glossy accents is great for this job, because it's clear and it won't oh, I'm getting loads coming out now. Look, you see, I told you. Let's open up the floodgates here, look. But there we go. I think we've got that sorted. Hopefully that's not going to get clogged up next time. Got a little bit on my thing there. There is a tiny little bit. Let me see if I've got, in fact I'll use the end of this. It's gone a little bit wild there, so I'm going to scrape some of that off. And like I say, it does dry clear, but it does dry glossy, so I don't want too much of it showing. There we go. And actually that's just given me such a good idea, because I could make my I want to add a little bit of pink to his cheeks, but it won't work because it's too dark, and if I use anything else it'll bleach that area. But maybe if I bleach it a little bit, that might help. Just give him a little bit of cute cheeks. There we go, that's cute. Okay, so should we add a bit of glossy accents to the jam? In fact, before we do that, whoa, back it up a bit. Let's pop some of our white Jelly Roll pen elsewhere that we like it, because if I don't do that now, I'm so going to put my finger in my glossy accents 100%. So I'm just adding some highlights in those areas that we said we would probably find a little bit of that highlight from the light hitting the chrome of the toaster. And it is one of my favourite things to do, is to add highlight. So I do think it just brings things to life. But I'm not, of course, going to do that to all of my toast, because it's very likely that when I pop the glossy accents on, that it will just remove all of that. So I'm going to add some glaze to the eyes here, and that's just made his eyes pop beautifully. And then we've got some glossy accents to go on our jam. That's just going to make it look like we've put some glossy lovely tasty jam on this bit of toast. And I love adding little accents like this that you just don't get on other cards, do you? You know, this is what makes it a handmade beauty, really. So I think we're done. So we've got our lovely cute little hearts here, shaker hearts. If you've not seen those in the shop, get over there and have a look at those, because they're ideal for Valentine's Day and for all of your shaker cards, of course. So here she is, fully completed. I'll bring it up to the camera. Hopefully that works on all platforms, because sometimes it won't fully adjust to the focus. But it looks okay from here, so fingers crossed it looks okay for you guys. That jam looks amazing. I actually want to eat that piece of toast right now, and it is making me hungry just thinking about it. But I think this is the perfect card to send to Ant, so I know he's not watching because he's at work today, so this might be the one that he gets. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed making this gorgeous little Valentine's card with me today. I've really loved making it. I think it's a great project to do. I love our background. I love the little experiment that we did as well, and I'm going to see how I can use that in another card, because I think that would be really, really cute. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all on Hobby Maker on the 8th, and then we'll be back with you for another live next Friday around this sort of time, around the lunchtime period, and we'll do a bit more crafting then. And it will it almost be Valentine's Day then, won't it? It will almost be Valentine's Day, so yeah, we'll be last minute crafting for the big day. Thank you so much, guys. Have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you all really soon. Bye.